Many breakthrough films made their mark on the landscape in the 90s, some becoming cultural phenomenons and starting or even bringing back to life their respective genres. I've touched on the Tarantino phenomenon and its imitators before here on the channel, but that little discrepancy wasn't exclusive to the Tarantino cool and many studios scampered to reproduce. Other films made such an impact as well, and we got some amazing film movements out of it. But, imitations will come regardless, all to varying degrees of quality, of course. One certain film I remember being pretty hyped to see as a youth was 1997's Hurricane Streets, which was unfairly compared to the masterpiece that is Kids. Mainly due to, teens in New York dealing with issues beyond their capabilities, but with Hurricane Streets, we still get a film that I would call the best kids imitation nonetheless. Hear me out. 1997's Hurricane Streets was directed by Morgan J. Freeman. No, not that Morgan Freeman. This one, Morgan J. Freeman, who while at NYU became friends with Todd Solondz, who put Freeman on his crew for his new film, Welcome to the Dollhouse. Freeman's talents quickly got him the assistant director's spot, which was one hell of a break. I'd give anything to have been a fly on the wall for that production. A production that would go on to win big at Sundance. But more importantly, it introduced Freeman to a young, talented actor named Brendan Sexton III.
Why do you always have to be such a cunt?
He would go on to cast him in his thesis film for NYU, then titled Hurricane, but changed to Hurricane Streets to avoid any confusion with any other films, and it was submitted to Sundance, where it became the first film to win 3 major honors at the 1997 Sundance Film Festival: the Audience Award Dramatic, Directing Award Dramatic, and Excellence in Cinematography Award Dramatic. So, the film kicked some ass upon release. Why the hell was it completely forgotten? Man, I swear, this shit isn't fair sometimes. Even now, covering the film, I know this video won't get many views. It's not easy being staunch TV, but hey, that's what I'm here for, and you know what, I'm going to be doing some more obscure stuff for a while here, so hit that notification bell. Anyway, yeah, while the movie was and is compared to Kids, it really is its own thing. Here, we get 14-year-old Marcus, who is a savvy but desolate inner-city teen who, along with a group of friends, makes his way selling stolen merchandise, kind of hankering back to his Empire Records days. Hey, look, it's Vinny Chase. And Brendan Sexton III really brings a vulnerability to the role here and outacts nearly all of his counterparts. Marcus spends his days waiting for a bus ticket to New Mexico to arrive, so he can finally leave this place. And in the meantime, he visits his imprisoned mother, played by Edie Falco. When the ticket finally arrives via some dubious means, he has 3 days till he leaves. 3 days to stay out of trouble, which is easier said than done. Along the way, he finds out family secrets, meets a young, sympathetic girl, and comes to odds with his friends and local police. And the final act here leaves us with some pretty heavy subject matter, pretty heavy-duty stuff to deal with. Now, it being a thesis film and all, it is a bit obvious at times. Not too long goes by until you're reminded of its low quality and budget, but it all still works.
You just don't learn.
Oh my god. What did you do?
I think the film is hurt here by the cast being so young, even though I'm sure they were older than 14 upon filming, and I think them being a little older would have brought some more weight to the film overall, as the focus on the younger kids kind of brings you out of the drama, and the acting from some of them, oh my god.
Did you get it?
Oh yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Another reason I remember this film so much is the TV spots they had, all advertising the soundtrack pretty heavy. The film's marketing kind of adopted Sex and Candy from Marcy Playground as its theme.
I smell sex and candy.
Who's that guy?
It's the cop. Who's that lounging?
Though it appears like once in the film, the tracks spotlighted throughout the film are actually these weird renditions of Bee Gees tunes. And along with Guster, Shades of Brooklyn, and Dead Hot Workshop, it makes for an interesting album. But the film itself acts as a precursor of greater things to come. Brendan Sexton III would impress critics here, and would go on to star in Pecker, and reunite with Freeman for Desert Blue, and have parts in Boys Don't Cry, and Black Hawk Down. He would also go on to have supporting roles in many indie films, and would even show up in The Messenger, Seven Psychopaths, and most recently, I think I remember seeing him in El Camino. That was a pretty funny part. Brendan stated that him speaking out politically against Black Hawk Down kind of got him blacklisted in the industry, and which is why he doesn't do too many big mainstream movies, and which is also why he's not returning my messages, I assume. As for Morgan J. Freeman, well, he would go on to direct the film Desert Blue, also starring Brendan, and a handful of videos for Rilo Kiley. Ooh, Jenny Lewis. And he would also do the abysmal American Psycho 2, and would team up again with Brendan in Just Like the Sun, and then would basically go to work with reality TV on MTV. As for the rest of the main cast, well, none of them did anything too notable, and the film was just kind of left in the dust. I managed to find an interview where Morgan J. Freeman talks about the film. I'll link the whole thing down in the description, but for now, let's check out a little bit of that. I'm a really big fan of movie structure, planting seeds, payoff, creating a tight-knit structure that allows you to have rules to go by when you film, or laws you create for yourself by having a structure. I wrote a lot. The script should be much longer. You need to lose scenes. It's not all about going to work. You want 120 pages in your script. I think because you don't know what's going to work. You don't know what's going to shine. You don't know what subplot is going to come out and be amazing. What's Eating Gilbert Grape had an amazing influence on my storytelling. You know where you're going, and you're confident that just when one plot point is running out, there's going to be another to pick it up. Also, obviously 400 Blows. Hurricane is very referential to it. Even the title is similar. I wanted a continual battering, like the image of a small boy being beaten down by 400 blows. I had seen Brendan in Welcome to the Dollhouse, and I used him in several of my earlier short films. I knew I wanted to use him when I did my feature. What was important is that we agreed on the character, so I put complete trust in what I think Brendan could do and how he saw Marcus. And I embraced what he saw in the character. Brendan drives me crazy. One day, I'm so nervous, we're doing this big day at the school with all these kids. I have all these extras, and we have cops with a long dolly, and we're running out of time, and it's just really hot in this car. We don't have the engine running, but we have the windows down on Brendan's side of the car, and this punk here, Brendan, is refusing to do the scene because he says in real life, if the cop came with the window down, he'd just reach out and open the door. Yeah, so they have a pretty cool working relationship. They've done quite a lot of films together. They're all pretty good, but I have to say that Hurricane Streets, well, that's the one. I'd recommend this film for anybody who longs for the days of 90s try-hard youth culture cinema, as Hurricane Streets is the best completely forgotten Sundance record-breaking 90s kids knockoff ever made. Be sure to hit the notification bell after you subscribe, and be sure to interact with me on my YouTube community posts and on Facebook and Instagram. Don't be a fucking loser.